Praise the Lord, saints. This is Elder Adrian Heyman, continuing on in a series of lessons regarding study Revelation. And we're starting to wrap up a bit on the Church of Laodicea. What we know about the church is that it was one that was self-righteous, as well as feeling as though it didn't need anything from anybody. You can say he was conceited, full of himself. That essentially, we need nothing from you. In fact, this may actually become more of what we've known now as the prosperity message in any of the other churches we have dealt with. What we learned also, though, from the last lesson or the last snippet that I did, that even though Laodicea is in a very ungodly position, that Jesus still loves them. Because his chastening, his rebuking, lets you know that he loves. So to get them away from their path towards destruction. And that's how we have to think about what Christ is doing. He's not doing it because he loves for people to be messed up. He rebukes to get you away from a path that's not going to turn out very good for you at all. So he's the one that warns you. Then we can also carry that forward, that if anyone is warning you of something, whether it's your parents, your children, your spouse, your pastor, your teacher, anyone, don't take it as though you're being pestered, that you're being looked at closely, that people's always in your business. Maybe the reason why they're in your business is because they don't want your business to be out in the street after you're finished doing what you're doing. This may be the one time where your business, well, no one will know your business. Now, again, we don't want people to start spreading rumors, no. But at the same time, for those who are honestly and anxiously trying to change the trajectory of somebody's life towards harm, then listen to those people. They mean you well. Chapter number 3. Verse number 20. It says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock." Now, there are many preachers that you look at this verse and they already let you know, you're outside the door, Jesus. That's not where you're supposed to be. You already were supposed to be inside. But for whatever reason, Jesus is on the outside, knocking at the door, wanting you to answer the door. And that's a good way of putting it. That this is a church that he should be inside already, but he's knocking at the door, meaning he's not inside, which is what has been established. You didn't need Jesus, so he's outside. But he's patient. And he's standing at the door. And he's knocking. Now, I have a house where it's essentially people usually try to knock. And I try to get it on the first knock. Sometimes I miss it. And it ends up being the second or the third or hopefully not the fourth knock. Of course, now we have doorbells. And then if people don't come right away, they ring it again and again. But the whole idea is that somebody wants your attention. Now we have people that come here, that come through, they're solicitors. They want money, they want jobs so they can get money from you. And you have to kind of go through that. But when someone really cares about you, to keep knocking, the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, we should thank God that he's at the door knocking. Because what if one of these days he stops knocking? Then that's a bad time. A time that you might as well, you have to cry for mercy, because if he's not there knocking, that means he's moved on and you're not saved. Remember, if he's not in you, then you can't go with him. So that door knocking may be your last chance. Don't assume he's going to continue knocking. Right now, he's at the door. Right now, he's knocking. But can you hear him? Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice, not only is he standing at the door and knocking, he's letting you know who he is. Because you have to hear his voice. A knock and a voice is two different things. He may be standing at the door and he's knocking, but he says that he is hearing. If you hear my voice, which means he's introducing himself. He's letting you know who it is that's out here. See, some people, you can only find out where they are if you look out the window or if you look through a peephole or something. But Jesus, is announcing exactly who he is as he is knocking. The knocking gets your attention. The voice tells you who it's from. So he's employing all these things. He's waiting outside when he could have walked away. He's knocking at the door when he could have stopped. And he's introducing himself when he could have just been quiet. So those three things that he's doing, it's extremely important for you to heed that call. Because it says, if any man hear my voice. See, it's not just, well, see, people think that the Lord, I don't know where it's going to come from. No, he lets you know that it's him that's knocking at the door. Especially if you had a relationship with him one time, but then he's out the door now. You know how his voice is. You know how he feels. But the question is, will you go and open the door? Because that's the key here. Are you going to open the door? If any man hear my voice, you may have been alerted by the door knock. But you know who it is by the voice. So if any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him. He's not there to rob. He's not there to steal. He's not there to murder. He's there to bring something with him. See, he brings something with him. It's not just that you are the one who's the host. He brings his own things to present to you if you open the door. You have to be careful, saints, that we don't miss that knock. Because with all the people, with everything that's vying for our attention, as I said, people who are solicitors, they don't let you know who you are. They just knock at the door. They hope that you just open the door. And then they explain themselves. Or maybe they're the ones that are casing your house. They're looking to see what you got. So when you open the door, you're able to look. Of course, some have already seen it, and all they want to do now is go and ransack your place. So now you're very careful, because they do not present themselves to you. They want some sort of surprise so that you can get robbed. But Jesus doesn't come to steal, to kill, to destroy. He doesn't come to rob you. He doesn't come to take advantage of you. He doesn't come to kidnap you. He comes that you might have life, and that you may have it more abundantly. But he said, I will come into him and will sup with him. Maybe your house, your spiritual house, is empty. Maybe there's not much in it. But that's okay to God. He'll bring the furnishings. He'll bring the food. He'll bring whatever is needed to have a relationship. As I said, you'll come in and will sup with him. When someone sups, they sit down. They have a conversation. They're able to speak relationship. You speak, they speak. You speak, they speak. You speak, they speak. Or maybe they speak, and maybe you just have to listen. But it's not in a threatening way. It's not a threat. It's if you open the door, I will share with whatever I have. I'm bringing the stuff. You can have a bare house. Jesus brings the stuff that you can then sup with him. So therefore, you don't need anything. You don't need to bring. You don't need to prepare. He just wants you to open the door. He'll bring you the food. He'll bring you the supping materials. He will bring you the cups. He will bring you the utensils. He'll bring everything. He just wants you to open the door. That's how much Jesus wants us. He wants us. But the day that helicopters are going by, we're in the helicopter flight path. Oh my goodness. I'm looking at a hawk. And they're just gliding over and over. My the Lord, how he shows you. You have the helicopters flying one direction, then you see a hawk just gliding gliding, looking to see what he can see. Sometimes you just have to look at nature and see how good God is. But that's part of the fellowship that Jesus wants to have with you, where you can be able to enjoy what God has done, enjoy what he is showing you, enjoy peace, enjoy rest, enjoy joy. But essentially, if you allow Jesus to come in, if you give him an opportunity to come into your life, to come into your heart, then he will supply everything else. He just wants you, saints, to open the door. That's why he's standing there. But to be honest, many of us, unfortunately, will wait until he leaves. Then we open the door and nobody's there, because we waited too long and our opportunity has passed us by and we're still destitute. We still have nothing. We still are in a situation whereas there's nothing that we have. So saints, what I am imploring you to do, what I'm asking you to do, is if you know that your house is empty, maybe you give them a call. Lord, come over. Please, Lord, I need you. You can always do that as well. You don't have to wait until he comes. Call him over, because you need him right now. See, Jesus won't break into your house. He won't force you to have things that he gives you. He won't just essentially just, here, I'm throwing you some things that you know. You have to want it, and you have to receive it. But you can call for him to come over. Not that the Lord doesn't come. Not that the Lord can't hear you. But he knows that you want him to come over. And if he knows you want him to come over, then he'll be over. Just have the door open for him. He can walk right on in. Remember, people who feel they don't need anything won't open the door. But if you think you need something, I just got a call, but they'll call back. But I just want you to realize, the Lord has you. Just make sure that you keep that door open, that you may then begin the relationship that you so desperately need from the Lord. May God bless you, and may he keep you. Take care in Jesus' name.